Nightwing sees Maggie Sawyer and Dan Turpin interrogating Boss Maroni, who isn't taking being arrested seriously, wanting them to know that he'll be out of there by the end of the day and tomorrow the cops will be in a ditch or in the harbour. Dan isn't happy with him threatening the commissioner, but Maroni knows that Blockbuster is the real law in the city. Maggie knows that Blockbuster is dead as Nightwing and Melinda look over Roland's dead corpse, and Melinda thinks that Nightwing dodged a bullet with the villain dying after learning his secret identity. Dick says that he just wanted justice, not this, wanting Roland to be held accountable for his actions. Dick knows that Heartless was the one who took away his punishment from them. Melinda doesn't think it matters now that Blockbuster is gone, but Dick knows that it does, since if justice isn't done, someone else will just think they can fill the void left over. Maggie meanwhile shows Maroni the files Blockbuster had, accounts with Maroni's name all over them. She wonders how long it will take for this evidence to get out and how long until some very powerful, grieving crime families come for him. Maroni asks what they want, so Dan tells him they want him to confirm the documents and in return they will protect him. Maroni and Maggie both agree that they both actually can't protect him, which is why Maroni is going to Gotham. Commissioner Renee Montoya arrives, telling Maroni that if he agrees to their deal, they will move him to Gotham right now. Maroni doesn't think he'll be any safer in Gotham, but Renee knows they have a knack for keeping real scum alive. Later on, Melinda tells Nightwing about Maroni being moved, and Dick assumes that if they know, so do the criminal underworld, and he better make sure Maroni has an escort. Dick returns home to Barbara, who already knows their mission, but wonders if Dick has thought about going away for a few days after dealing with it all. Dick knows that there is a man stealing hearts in town, and Barb makes a joke about the one being right there in front of her. She knows it was a terrible joke, but knows also that they need some days off. Maroni, meanwhile, is transported out of Bludhaven when a semi-truck crashes into the convoy, flipping the armoured truck. Maroni isn't happy with the provided protection, but Montoya shuts him up, kicking the door of the truck open as some thugs open fire on them, pinning them behind it. Maroni recognizes one of the cops protecting him as the officer points the gun in his face, knowing that he won't very much longer. Nightwing and Batgirl arrive, hitting the officer in the face with a baton and drawing his fire. Maroni tells Renee that her man was just about to put a bullet in him as Nightwing says that he'll take Maroni, asking what Renee will do. The woman knows that she will be fine, wanting the heroes to keep Maroni hidden and they'll meet with them on Monday. Nightwing grabs the mob boss and leaps into the Gotham forest below the highway. Nightwing tells Batgirl to keep Maroni while he deals with the men coming for them, and as the thugs enter the dark forest, Nightwing takes them out from the shadows before heading to one of Batman's old bunkers that he had put in the forest, reuniting with Batgirl and Maroni. Dick says that he's going to tie the villain to the couch so they can all get some sleep, but Maroni protests, so Dick tranquilizes him. Barb tells Dick that the Titans will look after the city and Haley, and being in the bunker seems perfect for her. Dick wonders if the sleeping mob boss downstairs doesn't ruin the vibe, but Barb knows that he's tranquilized, making it perfect for them. The next morning, Dick learns the tranquilizer only lasted 3 hours, and as Maroni puts it, the bunker has thin ceilings. He knows that he never thought about superheroes in relationships before, and Barb knows that he must not spend time on the internet. Nightwing unties the mob boss, assuring the paranoid man that they are safe in the bunker as Barb warns him of a taxi outside in the forest. The heroes don't understand how there'll be one there since there's no roads, as Nightwing finds Rick Grayson is behind the wheel. Back in Bludhaven, a little girl named Olivia is woken by a monster at her door, who tells the girl that they are very real and they are coming for her. In the Gotham woods, Dick asks who Rick Grayson is, as the taxi driver knows that Dick wouldn't know who he is after he lost his memory from when he was Rick Grayson, who he became after being shot in the head by KG Beast. Batgirl has no idea what the man means, and Dick tells him that he can't be there with that face on. Rick agrees, transforming into what Nightwing looked like in the 1980s. Nightwing isn't happy, and Rick wonders why he doesn't like the ponytail mullet. Nightwing learns that this person is his biggest fan, but the hero wants to know who or what he is. The being transforms again, revealing his name is Nite-Mite, a 5th-dimensional imp. The imp is excited to be meeting Nightwing, who knows this isn't a great time for this. Nite-Mite thinks that it's because the hero is on a date with a tied-up mob boss, but Nightwing thinks it's because he's on a date with Batgirl. Barb is happy to find that Dick has an imp of his own, as Nite-Mite is excited to meet her as well, but makes it very clear that he ships both Nightwing and Starfire. He knows that they have the old will they won't they thing, and they settled on being with each other, which has led to some progression in their characters. The imp transforms their area into a wedding ceremony for Dick and Barb, complete with all of their friends and family. Barbara makes it known she doesn't want this, and Dick doesn't want it just yet, surprising Barbara as Nite-Mite wants to know why they can't happen, and Dick doesn't have to be like Batman, who denies himself love and happiness and carbs. Batman states that Dick has developed an imp, making Dick realize that Batman is actually there. Batman doesn't have time for this since he's dealing with a triple homicide back in Gotham and needs to deal with that, so Nite-Mite teleports him and everyone else away, not understanding what Bat-Mite sees in him. The imp asks if they are absolutely sure they don't want to be married, pointing out Haley as the ring bearer. Barb knows that while that's adorable, they are very sure, so the imp sets it all back to normal, telling Nightwing that they are running out of time anyway. Nite-Mite takes himself, Haley and Dick to Bludhaven, overlooking Blockbuster's old apartment. The imp tells Dick that years ago, Roland made a deal with Neron to get greater intelligence, which if he had intelligence before, he would have had the imagination to ask for a bit more. Blockbuster sold his soul to Neron and then years later met with Neron again to negotiate to get his soul back, and in exchange for someone else's, his firstborn soul, who is the little girl named Olivia. Nite-Mite knows that she is Nightwing's biggest fan, although he contests that he really is the biggest fan and he would invite her to his fan club since they have t-shirts. The imp knows that with Blockbuster gone, Neron has come to collect Olivia's soul. Nightwing thinks that imp's reality-changing powers could deal with this really quickly, but Nite-Mite says he's no hero like Dick is, and he can't be involved directly, otherwise Neron will come after him and the entirety of the 5th dimension. He does agree, however, to boost Nightwing's weapons and give them the ability to send demons back to the underworld, and all Dick has to do is speak the phrase of power, which he whispers to Dick, who isn't too pleased with it, wanting another phrase since he can't say that one out loud. Dick gets ready to face the demons, however, alone, but Nite-Mite tells him he won't be alone, giving Haley a costume and the ability to talk to Dick. Haley thanks Dick for saving her, calling him a good human. The duo head into the building, finding dead guards, and upon hearing a scream, they race after it, finding demons trying to take Olivia. The giant monster grabs Dick, who doesn't want to have to say his phrase, but is forced to say Nightwing is awesome, which unleashes the power in his batons, freeing him from the demon's grip. The blast shocks the demon, blowing them back to the underworld as one grabs Olivia, demanding Nightwing stop, otherwise he'll break the girl before handing her over to Neron. Nightwing assures the girl that he's not going to let them take her, and Olivia knows that she is going to be okay, using the super strength she inherited from her father to punch the demon clear of the building. Later on, Nightwing meets with Raven, who tells Dick that she can hide Olivia from Hell and from Neron. Nite-Mite appears, surprising Raven as she tells Olivia that they are going on a small adventure. She too is the daughter of a monster, but Olivia is safe with her. Olivia thanks Nightwing and Bitewing as Dick says that he never would have known she was in trouble had it not been for Nite-Mite, so he's a hero as well. Olivia hugs the imp as Raven and the girl teleport away to safety. Dick tells the imp that he's not like the others he's met, and Nite-Mite says that he's seen how annoying Bat-Mite or Mxyzptlk can be and doesn't want to be like those guys. He knows that he's been watching Nightwing for years and he's learned a thing or two from him. Dick asks what the imp's real name is, since Nightwing shouldn't be his whole identity, and if he has impossible expectations of Dick, then at some point he's not going to meet them. He knows it's okay to be a fan of him, but the imp shouldn't put him or anyone else up on a big pedestal. Nightwing introduces himself as Dick Grayson, and Nite-Mite introduces himself as Dixel. He knows that this is the greatest moment of his life and he's got to make it awkward, telling Dick that with Blockbuster gone, the city will need a new Blockbuster, and he thinks Nightwing can be that, without the criminal empire and violence that is. The imp knows that there is a hole in the world and Nightwing can fill it, because Nightwing is awesome. Elsewhere in Bludhaven, Maggie Sawyer arrests the congressman, knowing exactly who he was to Salvatore Maroni. More arrests happen all over the city as 64 law enforcement members were taken into custody along with politicians and government officials. Melinda, meanwhile, is met by Tony Zucco, her supposed father, who is happy to see Melinda doing well in her job. Melinda learns that he was released from prison in a supposed good behavior act, and there is an opportunity now that Maroni and Blockbuster are gone, and with only Melinda being left on top, that the Zucco name can mean something again. He warns her that everyone will be coming for her and they need to beat them to it and rule Bludhaven as father and daughter. Audrey knows that Melinda is already mayor, so what would Tony bring to the table besides two mystery women in sunglasses who are accompanying him? Tony thinks he brings a lot since he knows where all of the jewels Maroni didn't turn in are, and they are worth a lot of money. Melinda asks if he's proposing a jewel heist, and Tony knows that by tomorrow he will be worth hundreds of millions of dollars and the name Zucco will mean everything in the city. The next day, Melinda fills Dick in on Tony's arrival and heist, with him wanting to rule Bludhaven with her. Dick tells her that she isn't his daughter and Melinda knows she isn't, and she doesn't have to pretend anymore. She asks what they are going to do, so Dick asks if she knows where Tony is staying. Later on, Nightwing follows Tony from Bludhaven out to the old fishing district, confusing Dick since there is nothing out there anymore. Nightwing finds Tony is going to an old lighthouse out by the ocean, where he tells a guard that he's there to make a withdrawal. The bouncer doesn't have Tony's name on the manifest, so he won't be allowed in. So Tony tells Double Dare, the two women in the trench coats, to show the man his booking, having the two assistants attack the man. Nightwing knows that they are circus performers turned professional thieves and are trouble, as Double Dare gets the man's keycard and uses it to enter the secret vault to the Hold, a secret bank made from an old ship and the bones of a whale. Tony meets with the quartermaster, demanding the old man let him into safe 78. The quartermaster knows that is Maroni's vault, but Tony knows that he's gone. The man assures him that Maroni's property will still be there when he returns, so Tony pulls a gun on him, forcing the old man to open the safety deposit box of Salvatore Maroni, but not before warning Tony that the Hold is a bank you do not rob. Double Dare thinks that sounds like a challenge, as the quartermaster reveals the Eye of Kandak, a blue jewel that was in Maroni's lockbox. Tony knows that it's worth $400 million, as the quartermaster says that they know Tony's name and face and they will find him. Tony shoots the quartermaster in the eye, surprising even Double Dare, who thinks that was unnecessary. The old man lives and warns Tony that the Hold will never forget him or let go of him. Tony gets ready to kill the man properly this time as Nightwing arrives, hitting the gun from his hand. Double Dare gives chase, fighting Nightwing amongst the sails and rigging of the ship as Tony tries to escape. Tony makes it to his car, but Nightwing catches up to him, pinning Tony to the ground, as Dick knows that he came there without a plan, but he knows what he wants to do to Zucco, and it's something he's not proud of. Suddenly, Nightwing is met by the searchlight from a ship, whose mercenary crew demand that he let Tony go, as they will deal with him and his crimes against the Hold. Nightwing knows that they are going to deal with him worse than Bludhaven's private prisons, so he tells the mercenaries that Tony is going to be punished by the city, but the men don't back down. The quartermaster appears, telling his men to stand down, wanting Nightwing to take Tony, as the city will receive evidence of Tony's crimes. Nightwing wants some explanation on what this is, but the quartermaster will only tell him the number 538, which is the number on the safety deposit box belonging to Nightwing in the Hold. Dick is surprised to learn that he has one, learning someone established it for him long ago, and after he's done taking care of Zucco, he and the quartermaster should talk about it. A day later, Melinda goes to see Tony in prison. Tony thinks that she's there to help her father, but Melinda makes it clear that she isn't his daughter. She reveals that she is reopening the case on Jonathan and Mary Grayson's deaths, which scares Tony, who knows that Melinda is his daughter and a Zucco. Melinda produces documents that state that she has had her name legally changed, and she is now Melinda Grayson Lynn, and the name Zucco will mean nothing in the city and will fade away with Tony in prison. Later on, Melinda meets with Nightwing on a rooftop, where Dick admits that he really wanted to hurt Tony. Melinda thinks that's normal, but he didn't hurt him, and that's what separates him from Tony. Dick hopes that there is a little more that separates them, as he says that he likes Melinda's new name, but she thinks that he's a little biased on the name Grayson. She knows that there is going to be bigger threats than Tony Zucco, and she hopes that Dick has a plan. Nightwing has the start of an idea, and it's a big one, but it's not all there, so for now, he'll just make them think that they are defenseless. Tony meanwhile is told by someone unseen that someone wants to meet with him, as KG Beast is offered a chance at revenge on Nightwing. Heartless meanwhile takes another heart from a man in the street, wondering if there is anyone else still loyal to Maroni, and if there are, they won't wake up tomorrow. Nightwing tells Melinda that he knows he'll let the threats think that they are the vultures swooping in on a dead corpse, and only then will they show them where the real power in the city lies.